Have you ever had one of those moments where you felt like you were seeing a ghost? Well, if you are watching the final moments of the latest episodes, you know exactly what that feels like because the writers just dropped an absolute emotional nuke on Fairmont Crest. Seriously, just think about the sheer trauma of grieving your father for nearly a year, only to have him show up in your living room looking like a completely different person. This isn't just a simple miracle or a happy reunion. In my opinion, we are watching the birth of a brand new nightmare for the McBride family. It makes my skin crawl to think about what Doug has been doing in the shadows while his family was falling apart. We have to ask the big question right away. Why did Doug choose to show himself to Deanna first instead of his wife, Vanessa? Is he looking for love? Or is he looking for a soldier he can use to carry out his dirty work? The McBride family has been a house of cards ever since that fiery car crash back in September 2025, and Doug's return isn't just a plot twist. It is a total reckoning for everyone who thought they could move on. When Deanna stands there breathless, asking her father if he is actually real, she isn't just asking about his physical form, she is questioning her own sanity in that moment. My analysis of this is that Doug didn't survive that crash just to resume his old life as a local doctor. He survived so he could erase the new life that Joey Armstrong built on top of his grave. The setup for this reunion was honestly chilling because Doug didn't offer a hug or a warm welcome home. Instead, he offered a challenge by telling Deanna to come over and see for herself if he was real. That is a massive power move, and it tells us everything we need to know about the man he has become. He isn't just a father returning to his daughter. He is a commander re-establishing his presence in a house that moved on without him. Why did he wait until the cotillion, which was supposed to be the peak of social glam and new beginnings for the town? The funny thing is that Doug is a master of timing, and he waited for the McBrides to be at their most vulnerable, right as the Platinum Deb was being crowned. He wanted to ensure his return would have the maximum impact on the entire social fabric of Fairmont Crest. Now, let's talk about the one thing he came back for, which he explicitly tells Deanna is revenge. Doug didn't come back for a second chance at being a dad or to fix his broken marriage with Vanessa. He came back to settle a blood score with the man he blames for trying to kill him. That revenge is the only fuel that kept him alive while he was secretly planning his comeback away from everyone he knew. If we look at this from a psychological perspective, Doug has likely replaced his old addictions, like gambling and drinking, with a much more dangerous one: the total destruction of Joey Armstrong. He explicitly names Joey as the person responsible for nearly killing him in that 2025 accident. My emotional insight here suggests that Doug's heart has turned completely cold during his time away. The way he uses Deanna to trigger his plan is frankly quite dark when you think about it. He is taking a girl who has been desperately fighting for his memory and turning her into a pawn in a feud against a corrupt casino owner. In my opinion, Doug isn't the hero we've all been waiting for. He is a man who has died and come back as something else entirely. If he truly loved Deanna, wouldn't he want her as far away from this dangerous situation as possible? Instead, he is pulling her right into the line of fire for his own mission. The most alarming part of this return is the specific mission Doug has for his daughter, which spoilers say will trigger Deanna's dark side. This is a tragic development for a character who has always been the one with the most fire in her family. But now that fire is being weaponized by the one person she should be able to trust more than anyone. Why act this way towards your own child? Well, think about it, because Doug knows that Vanessa is compromised. She is in Joey's bed, both literally and figuratively. He can't use Donnell yet because Donnell is still trying to play the diplomat and get answers through conversation. Deanna is the only one with enough raw resentment to actually carry out a very important task that might require crossing some serious moral lines. We have to keep our eyes on the McBrides because they are no longer the victims of this story, but the ones writing the next chapter in blood. Doug's return is the ultimate game changer, and it makes you wonder if anyone in Fairmont Crest is ever truly gone. The way he stepped out of the shadows at the cotillion was a move meant to terrify as much as it was to reunite. He knew that seeing him alive would shatter Deanna's world, and he chose to do it anyway for the sake of his revenge. That tells you everything you need to know about the man who has come back from the dead. He is cold, and he is calculated, and he is using the person he should love most to do his dirty work. Joey Armstrong has met his match, and the fallout is going to be spectacular to watch. Whether Doug is a hero or a monster remains to be seen, but one thing is certain: things will never be the same.
The plasma ring was just the beginning of the darkness coming to Fairmont Crest, and Doug McBride is right at the center of it all. We have to watch the upcoming episodes because the fireworks are just starting. Deanna is on a mission now, and that mission will lead her down a path she might never be able to come back from. Her father's return is a gift with a very high price tag. Doug survived the crash, but the man who came out of that wreckage is not the same man who went into it. He is a shadow of his former self, and that shadow is growing over the entire town. We are moving toward a collision where there are no good guys left, only survivors of a war they didn't ask for. Doug is the ghost who refuses to rest until Joey Armstrong is in the ground. This is the ultimate soap opera drama, and it is exactly why we tune in every day. The McBride legacy is being rewritten in real time, and it is a thriller that keeps us on the edge of our seats. What happens next will change everything for the Duprees and the McBrides alike. Stay tuned because the gates are open, and the secrets are coming out faster than anyone can handle. Doug is back and he has a mission, and Fairmont Crest is about to burn. Can you believe we are finally seeing Doug in the flesh again after all these months of speculation? The January retrospective gave us a look back, but this new footage is where the real story begins. Doug is real and he is here to stay, and he is not playing games. The reunion with Deanna is just the first step in a much larger plan that will rock Fairmont Crest to its core. Every character in this town is about to have their life turned upside down by a man they thought was long gone. This is the kind of drama that makes the show a must-watch. We have to see how Joey reacts when he realizes his past has come back to haunt him in the most literal way possible. Doug McBride is the ghost with a grudge, and he is ready to take back everything that was stolen from him. The war for Fairmont Crest has officially begun, and I can't wait to see who is left standing when the smoke clears. Well, think about the psychological impact on the town's other families too. The Duprees are already reeling from Derek's death. If the McBrides explode, it's going to create a power vacuum in Fairmont Crest. Vanessa has always been a social leader, and her downfall is going to have a ripple effect on everyone from Leslie Thomas to Nicole Dupree. I honestly think the return of Doug is about to change everything we thought we knew about Joey, Vanessa, and even the entire plasma scandal. The more I think about Doug being alive, the more I realize this storyline may not simply be about revenge anymore. It feels much darker than that. It feels like a war that has been quietly building in the shadows for months. What fascinates me the most is that Doug didn't return to Donnell first. That detail matters. Out of everyone he could have trusted, Doug chose Deanna. Why? Because deep down, Doug already knows something terrifying. Donnell has emotionally crossed over to Joey's side. Maybe not intentionally, maybe not completely, but enough for Doug to understand that he can no longer risk exposing himself to people who still believe Joey is innocent. And honestly, I can't even blame Doug for that decision. Joey has manipulated almost everyone around him. That's what makes him so dangerous. The scariest villains in soap operas are never the loud ones. They're the ones who smile calmly while destroying lives behind closed doors. Joey has spent months building this image of a loyal, trustworthy man. Vanessa trusts him. Donnell seems willing to defend him. Even people who once questioned him are slowly falling into line. But Doug knows the truth because Doug lived through it. Doug didn't disappear accidentally. In my opinion, Joey absolutely tried to kill him. The fact that Doug stayed hidden this long tells me something even more disturbing. Joey's power is probably much larger than we imagined. If Doug truly believed he could expose Joey immediately, he would have returned long ago. Instead, he vanished, he waited, he watched, and he survived. That sounds like a man who was terrified. So when people ask why Doug waited so long to come back, I actually think the answer is simple. He knew he would die if he returned too early. And honestly, that changes the entire emotional weight of this story for me, because now I'm starting to wonder what Doug experienced while he was gone. Was he alone? Was he injured? Did someone secretly help him survive? Or did he spend all these months building evidence against Joey piece by piece? Maybe Doug wasn't hiding. Maybe he was preparing. That's why I can't stop thinking about the plasma scandal. The timing is just too suspicious. We suddenly have this massive scandal exploding publicly, and right around the same time, Doug reappears from the dead. That cannot be a coincidence. Soap writers never do things accidentally like that. The writers are clearly connecting these threads somehow. My theory is that Doug may actually be one of the architects behind the plasma ring's downfall. Not publicly, of course. Doug is smarter than that now. I think the old Doug would have confronted Joey directly, but the new Doug, the man who survived an attempted murder, that man understands strategy. He understands patience, and he understands that Joey can't simply be accused. Joey has to be trapped. And that's where Deanna comes in. I absolutely believe Deanna is going to become Doug's secret weapon. The emotional setup is already there. She never truly accepted Doug's death, unlike Vanessa or Donnell. Deanna's instincts kept telling her something was wrong. That emotional loyalty is exactly why Doug trusted her first. He knows she still believes in him. But here's the interesting part. I don't think Doug is asking Deanna to help him out of pure revenge. I think he genuinely needs her because he physically cannot move freely yet. Maybe Joey still has people watching for him, maybe Doug is injured, or maybe Doug's existence needs to remain secret until the perfect moment. That would explain why Deanna becomes the one retrieving files, documents, or hidden evidence. She can move around publicly without raising suspicion. Nobody expects her to be working with a dead man, and honestly, that setup is brilliant. Imagine Deanna secretly meeting Doug at abandoned locations, receiving instructions through burner phones, and passing documents back and forth while pretending everything is normal around Vanessa and Joey. The tension would be unbelievable. But then we get to the part of this storyline that really worries me. Vanessa. Because I think Vanessa is about to become one of the most emotionally complicated characters in this entire show. At first, it seems obvious that Vanessa should support Doug once she learns he's alive. After all, Joey allegedly tried to kill him. That should end the relationship instantly, right? But emotions are never that simple. Vanessa has already emotionally moved on from Doug, and that changes everything. People keep forgetting that love can completely distort morality. If Vanessa truly loves Joey now, then the truth about Doug may not automatically turn her against Joey. In fact, it may force Vanessa into denial. That's the tragedy I see coming, because I can absolutely picture Vanessa learning the truth and still choosing Joey. Not because she's evil, but because accepting Joey's guilt would destroy the entire emotional reality she's been living in. It would mean admitting she fell in love with a monster. Some people would rather protect the lie than face that kind of emotional devastation. And if that happens, Doug is finished. Seriously, think about how dangerous Vanessa becomes the moment she discovers Doug is alive. She instantly becomes the single biggest threat to his entire operation. That's why the scene I keep imagining is Vanessa overhearing Deanna on the phone. Maybe Deanna says something emotional without realizing Vanessa's nearby. Maybe Vanessa hears Doug's voice for half a second. Maybe she notices Deanna hiding files or acting nervous. It would be something small, because soap operas love tiny clues. Once Vanessa starts suspecting the truth, the emotional pressure becomes unbearable. Does she expose Doug? Does she protect Joey? Does she stay silent? I honestly don't know. Part of me thinks Vanessa will initially confront Deanna in complete shock. She'll demand answers, she'll accuse Deanna of lying, and when Deanna finally admits Doug is alive, Vanessa's entire world will collapse in real time. But that's not even the craziest possibility, because what if Vanessa already suspects Joey is darker than he appears? What if she's been ignoring red flags for months? That would make her internal conflict even more painful. And there have been little moments that make me suspicious. Joey always seems too controlled, too prepared, and too calm whenever danger appears. People like that are terrifying because they never panic unless they lose control of the narrative. Doug returning would destroy Joey's narrative, which means Joey might become truly dangerous again. And here's a theory I can't stop thinking about. What if Joey never acted alone? Seriously, what if the reason Doug disappeared for so long is because Joey is connected to something much larger than we realize? The plasma scandal could be more than a local issue. It could be part of a wider criminal operation involving powerful people Doug cannot fight alone. That would explain why Doug needed time. It would also explain why Joey has remained strangely untouchable despite all the suspicion around him, because maybe Joey isn't the mastermind. Maybe Joey is only the face of something bigger. And if that's true, Doug's return could trigger a chain reaction far beyond personal revenge. That possibility honestly excites me because it raises the stakes tremendously. Suddenly, this isn't just about a love triangle or betrayal anymore. It becomes a survival game, and I'm not convinced Doug survives it. That's another thing nobody wants to discuss. What if Doug came back too early? What if revenge blinds him? Soap operas love tragic returns. Sometimes characters survive death only to die for real later. I could absolutely see the writers setting up a devastating ending where Doug gets incredibly close to exposing Joey only for someone to silence him permanently. Or worse, what if Doug disappears again? Imagine the emotional impact if Deanna spends weeks secretly helping him, risking everything, only for Doug to vanish before revealing the full truth. Was he kidnapped? Forced into hiding again? Honestly, there are so many possibilities. Doug could survive and destroy Joey publicly. Doug could expose the plasma ring but die in the process. Vanessa could betray Doug to protect Joey. Deanna could become the next target. Or Joey himself could completely unravel once he realizes Doug is alive. Because beneath Joey's calm exterior, I think there's fear, real fear. A guilty man can manipulate rumors, he can manipulate emotions, but he cannot manipulate a witness who survived. Doug is living proof that Joey failed, and maybe that's why Joey becomes more dangerous from this point forward. Cornered people do reckless things. If Joey learns Doug is alive before Doug is ready, I honestly think we could see another attempted murder storyline unfold, especially if Vanessa accidentally exposes everything. That's why I keep coming back to the emotional tragedy of Vanessa's role in all of this. She may not intend to hurt Doug, but love makes people irrational. If she warns Joey out of panic, she could destroy the only chance Doug has to finally bring him down. And the saddest part? She may convince herself she's doing the right thing. That's what makes this storyline so compelling to me. Nobody feels completely safe emotionally anymore. Every relationship is fractured by suspicion, loyalty, grief, or obsession. Doug trusts Deanna. Deanna hates Joey. Vanessa loves Joey. Donnell trusts the wrong people. And Joey stands at the center of it all like a ticking time bomb. So now I'm left wondering one huge question. When the truth finally explodes, who will still be standing? The psychological layer here is fascinating because if Doug is indeed the Impaler, he has transitioned from a man who saves lives as a surgeon to a man who literally drains the community for a profit. This wouldn't just be a career change, it would be a complete death of his soul. He might even be using the plasma ring to fund his entire war against Joey Armstrong. Until it is way too late. Joey is starting to lose his grip on things, and he even notices something is off with Bill's health lately. These are the questions that will define the next few weeks of drama. We have to keep our eyes on the McBrides because they are no longer the victims of this story, but the ones writing the next chapter in blood. Doug's return is the ultimate game changer, and it makes you wonder if anyone in Fairmont Crest is ever truly gone. The way he stepped out of the shadows at the cotillion was a move meant to terrify as much as it was to reunite. He knew that seeing him alive would shatter Deanna's world, and he chose to do it anyway for the sake of his revenge. That tells you everything you need to know about the man who has come back from the dead. If you want to keep up with every single twist and turn, make sure you hit that subscribe button and like this video. We are diving deep into the secrets of Fairmont Crest every day, and you don't want to miss a single spoiler. Let me know your wildest theories in the comments below because I want to know what you think about Doug being the Impaler. Is he a savior, or is he the ultimate villain of Fairmont Crest? Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one where we find out more about Deanna's dark mission. Make sure to subscribe, like, and comment below. See you next time.